Hello and welcome to your practice. I'm Ainsley and today I'm going to guide you through a Vinyasa practice focused on twists and hips. So we'll be doing quite a bit of mobility for the hips, deeper stretching postures, and lots of twists. The only thing I'll mention before we get started is if you like to have support in your half moon or in standing postures, have a block at the top and the back of your mat so you're not bringing them with you as we move between sides. All right, start seated, bringing the hands down to the thighs, and start by taking a couple of breaths. Arriving in your space, letting your shoulders be soft and heavy down away from the ears. And blink the eyes open, reach both arms up over the head. On your exhale, twist, right arm reaches behind the back, left arm to the right knee. Find a gentle twist to start out the practice. Next inhale, reaches the arms up. Same thing, second side, right hand to your left knee, twist. Inhale up through the center. Now start to hollow out your core. So you're starting to sit back and find a gentle boat pose. So the knees can be really bent. Now 3 times we'll go from a very gentle boat to a butterfly. So as you exhale, fold into your butterfly. Hands can rest on the knees, opening them up like a book. And as you inhale, lift up, arms reach up, little boat pose. Exhale down. Last time, lift up. And toes don't have to lift off the floor in this boat pose if you wanted to keep them grounded. And exhale, butterfly. Lift it back up to center, find a bear stance. So both feet are gonna plant out in front, hands will plant behind you. And start by windshield wipering the knees to the right, and then the left, and then the right, and the left. Move over to the right, pause, reach your right arm back behind you to the floor, and left arm up to the sky. Now, exhale, twist, reaching to the back, and inhale, open up, reach to the front. So a big flossing movement in the shoulder, a couple times on your own. And exhale, twist. Last time, inhale, open up. Exhale, twist down. Take a breath in your twist. You can have both hands to the floor behind you. If you wanted to lower down to the forearms, or even lift and lower a couple times. And to come back through center, keep the right hand planted, sweep the left arm up through the middle, windshield wiper the knees, over to the left. Same thing, right arm reaches up. As you exhale, twist to the back, reaching towards the left arm, and then open up with an inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Pause when you find your twist, both hands to the floor. You can stay here or lower the forearms down, or lift and lower a couple times. One more breath here. Reach back through the center, finding your bear stance one more time, and then bump the knees closer to each other. We'll find figure 4, cross the right ankle over the left knee, sit up into your figure 4, and then again, a gentle rock side to side, almost like a windshield wiper, letting everything drop over to the right and then to the left. Next time your right foot finds the floor over to the left side, pause. Plant your left hand down, kind of shift your weight forward and step back to a low lunge. When you get there, bring your right hand to the base of your head. On your inhale, curl open, look up. And on your exhale, curl down. Elbow meets the floor or comes towards the floor. Inhale, open up. Exhale, curl down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, curl down. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl. Both hands to the floor on the inside of the right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and take a little shift forward and back. And we'll come out the way we came in. So shift your weight forward so you can tuck your left knee behind, and you'll sit back down. And then we'll find a twist. So reach the arms up and over to the right side and find a twist. Take a breath in to get taller, and a breath out to twist. Release the twist back through the center. Your right leg is going to straighten out and sweep open until you find a straight right leg and a bent left. Fingertips find the floor. Exhale, fold over the right thigh. Inhale, roll up. 2 more times. Inhale, fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up. 1 more. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll up. When you meet the top, use the strength of your hip flexor to pull your right foot to the floor. Reach your right arm out in front, so you're trying to get contact with your tricep and your inner thigh. And then that same motion with the left arm that we took in our sort of bear stance, you're gonna reach open for a twist and then close it out. Just 2 more times. Twist open and close it out. Last time. Twist open, close it out. Nice. Now release the arms, reach your right hand to the floor behind you and your left hand to the floor behind you, and just lift the hips up. Almost kind of like a butterfly meets a camel pose, meets a bridge pose. Lift the hips, lower them down. 1 more time, lift the hips and lower them down. Now rock back through the center, cross your left ankle over the right knee, and it's a windshield wiper side to side. Next time your left foot meets the floor over to the right, plant it down, reach your right hand to your mat, and then step it back to a low lunge. When you get there, drop your back knee, untuck your toes, reach your left hand to the base of your head. Exhale, curl it down, elbow finds somewhere near the floor, doesn't have to touch, and inhale, opens up. Exhale, twist down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, down. Inhale, open. 1 more time. Exhale, down. Inhale, open. Bring both hands to the floor on the inside of the left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Take a little rock forward and back. And we'll come out the way we came in, so shift forward and then tuck your right knee underneath the left ankle. Open back up to your seated twist. So the back of your right arm will meet the left knee. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Take 1 more breath here. As you release the twist, reach your right arm up to the sky, unravel the left leg, and then fold down over the left thigh. Fingertips find the floor. Inhale lifts you up. Exhale folds you down. 2 more times, lift it up. Fold it down. Last time, lift up. And fold. Sit up to the top. Pull your left foot into the floor. Plant it down. Reach your left hand out in front on the inner of the thigh. And then you're going to open the right arm to the side and close it out. Take 2 more. Open up. Close it out. 1 more. Open up. Close it out. Come back through center, reach both arms behind you, and then push down into your shin and your foot to lift your hips and lower them down. Take 2 more. Lift the hips, lower them down. Last one, lift and lower. Nice. All right. Cross over the ankles and find yourself in a tabletop position. When you get there, we'll take some barrel rolls. So you'll circle out the spine, almost like a cat-cow, but more of a circular motion in the spine. Continue moving in this direction for 1 or 2 more rounds. And then switch directions. Your neck and shoulders can be involved with this motion. One more. And find center. Bump the knees underneath the hips, the wrists underneath the shoulders. On your next inhale, sweep your right hand up to the sky for a twist. And on your exhale, thread your right hand underneath the left arm. Take 1 breath here. Inhale, sweep it back up to the sky. Set your hips down to your heels. Reach your right arm to the back of the mat. And then lift the hips up for a baby camel. Lower the hips back down. Cartwheel your arms back to the floor. Left hand finds the floor. Right arm reaches really far out in front. And then lower into a half puppy pose. Think of sinking the chest down towards the floor. Your hips are right above your knees. And then slide it back into your tabletop position, other side. Sweep your left hand up to the sky. Exhale, thread through. Take a breath. And inhale, sweep it back up to the sky. Ground your hips to your heels. Reach to the back of the mat. And then lift the hips for a baby camel. Lower your hips back down. Cartwheel the right hand back to the floor. Sweep the left arm to the top of the mat. And then sink your chest down to the floor. Half puppy pose. And slide it back into tabletop position. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a pedal with the feet. Move it around. And we'll take 1 more little sequence to warm ourselves up before we get really flowing. So you'll start by bending into your left knee. So you're squeezing your left heel up into your glutes. And then with control, soften your right knee down to the floor. So in a tabletop position. Your left knee is still hovering. Open up to the side like a can opener, like a fire hydrant. You're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And straighten out the leg to the side. Now slowly drop your left toes to the floor and find cat-cow in this half straddle, half tabletop. Now drop your chest, bend into your arms, and lower your chin and chest to the floor. Good. Push it back up, round your back. 1 more time, drop the belly, bend into the arms, lower your chest and your chin. And then push up, round your back. Tuck onto your right toes and then kick up to a 3-legged dog. Bend into your left knee and draw some circles in the air. One more circle and switch directions. And find your downward facing dog. Now squeeze your right heel into your glutes. Knees stay in line with one another. And then with the strength of your quads and the control in your left leg, lower down to a tabletop position. Open up like a fire hydrant. Straighten out the right leg and slowly lower it to the floor. Cat-cow. Couple more. Next time you drop your belly down, bend into your elbows, Lower your chest and your chin. Push it up around your back. And then again, drop the belly, lower your chest and your chin. Push it up around your spine. Tuck onto your left toes, and then slowly lift it up to a three-legged dog. Bend into your right knee, open up your hip, and then find some circles. In the other direction. Nice. Both feet to the floor. One more version of that with a little bit more flowiness. So open up like a fire hydrant already in your downward facing dog. You can have your knee bent if you like. This is the left leg lifting, or you can straighten it out. From here, with control, lower your right knee to the floor and your left foot to the floor. So you're in your half tabletop, half straddle. Now as you lower your chest and chin down, kick your left leg back behind you. Maybe squeeze your heel into your glutes. Now return to your half tabletop, half straddle. Tuck onto your right toes and lift back up to your fire hydrant downward facing dog. Nice. Foot to floor, downward facing dog. Bend into your right knee and opened up to the side like a fire hydrant. You could straighten out the leg for some challenge. With control, lower down slow to your half tabletop, half straddle. Lower your chest and chin to the floor and sweep your right toes back behind you. Squeeze your heel to your glutes. Push it back up, finding your half table, half straddle. Tuck your left toes and then kick it back up to your fire hydrant down dog. Ooh. Feet to the floor. Nice work. Slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat to find your first forward fold. Bend into the knees. You can interlace your fingers and circle out your wrists here, or you could just sway it side to side. And one more breath here. Bend your knees, roll up the spine, arms reach tall. And exhale, fold. One more time, bend into your knees, roll your way up, arms reach up to the sky, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, plank pose. Take a breath. Lower knees, chest, chin. Inhale through upward facing dog or baby cobra, and downward facing dog. All right, let's move through a first round of our sequence. I'm excited for this one. It'll be slow the first time, talk it through, and then we'll speed it up as we continue. On your next inhale, sweep your right toes up to the sky. Bend your knee, open up your hip. If you wanted, you could lower your left forearm down to the floor. If your forearm has lowered, lift it back up. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Keep your back knee lifted this time, right hand to the base of your head. Inhale, open up, twist. Exhale, curl it down. Elbow might come towards reaching the floor. You can even bend the left elbow a little bit to get deeper. 2 more times, open up. Curl it down. Last time, open up. Curl it down. Both hands to the floor. Push into your hands and crawl to a skandasana or a side lunge at the back of the mat. When you get there, lower your hips to the floor. Internally rotate your left hip so your knee finds the floor, and then twist. Release the twist, come back through center. Plant your right hand to the floor at the back of the mat and open up to your low horizon. Big pivot on the feet. High horizon pose. One more time, low horizon. Lift back up, high horizon pose. Shift your weight into your left foot so you can hover your right foot off the floor and then tuck your right knee behind the left ankle. We're in a seated twist. We took this earlier in class as well. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. As you unravel the twist, we'll find half moon. You have a block if you want it. You'll place your left hand to the block or the floor as you open up into your half moon. Nice. Take a breath. Bring your right foot down to the floor at the back of the mat to meet your left. Find chair pose, hands to heart center. Take a breath in and a breath out. Lift up onto your tiptoes. Lower your hips to your heels, toes pose. And before we move through a vinyasa, I like to weave plow pose into this sequence. If you'd like it, you'll drop your hips to the floor, rock back to find plow, which means feet come over your head. They may or may not find the floor. And then to move through a vinyasa, roll up the spine, cross the ankles. First time slow, hands to the floor, step back to a plank. Now you are facing the back of your mat and move it through a vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath when you meet your downward facing dog. And of course, vinyasas are always optional. On your next inhale, sweep your left toes up to the sky. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Option to lower your right forearm to the floor. If you've lowered your forearm, lift it. Knee to nose and step to the outside of your left hand. When you get there, keep your back knee lifted. Place your left hand to the base of your head. Inhale, open up. And exhale, curl down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, curl down. One more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, curl down. Both hands to the floor. Push all the way to the top of the mat where we started into a skandasana. So your hips are sitting down to your right heel. Take a breath. Lower your hips to the floor. Drop your right knee to the mat and twist. Unfurl the twist back open towards a skandasana. Hands can be useful to lift your hips off the floor. Reach your left hand to the top of the mat and then pivot on the feet so you can find a low horizon pose. Lift up, high horizon pose. Lower down, low horizon. One more time, lift up, high horizon. Shift your weight forward into the right foot and tuck your left knee behind. Open up the arms and twist to the right. Lift tall as you inhale and twist as you exhale. Unravel the twist, half moon to the top of the mat. So right hand might find your block as you lift up, half moon. Take one more breath. And we'll find chair pose. So your left foot finds the floor, hands find heart center. Take a breath. And lift onto the toes. Sit hips to heels for toes pose. And if you'd like to finish out the flow with a plow, drop your hips to the floor, roll it back. Plow pose. Maybe your feet find the floor. And as you roll forward, cross the ankles, hands to the floor, step or hop back to your plank and move it through your vinyasa. Nice. Take a breath when you get there. We will move through a version of this sequence again, a little bit more flowy, and I'll add on some new additions. Now that you know the pattern a little bit, see if you can drop in and find a more fluid and seamless, continuous motion this time. Inhale, sweep your right toes up to the sky, bend your knee, open your hip, option to drop your forearm. Press back up if you've lowered the forearm, right knee to right elbow. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. This time, keep your arms straight. Sweep your right arm back towards your left thigh. Maybe you touch it. And then as you sweep it back forward, kind of thread through the window of your left arm and sit back to skandasana on your left heel. When you get there, lower your hips, drop your left knee down to the floor and twist. Open back up. Hands can help if you need. Lift back. Now you've got your low horizon at the back of the mat. Lift up high horizon. Just once this time, low horizon. Lift it up. Tuck your back knee in and open to your seated twist. Unravel the arms, half moon pose at the back of the mat. Left hand finds the floor, sweep it open. This time, start to bend into your left knee and face your hips to the floor. Step back to your archer's lunge, which means right hand forward, left arm back. It's a twisted lunge. If you'd like, you can reach your left arm to the back of your right thigh and reverse. Nice. Now bring hands to heart center and twist. So you'll hook your right elbow across your left knee and find a twisted crescent lunge. Shift your weight forward. We're going to find twisted chair pose at the back of the mat. So bring your weight into your left foot, maybe hover the right toes off the floor for a moment, and then bring your right knee in. Step both feet to the floor, twisted chair. Unravel your chair pose. Lift to your toes, drop your hips to the floor, and then plow pose roll if you'd like it. Roll it back. And then roll it forward, cross the ankles, step back, straight to plank or straight through your vinyasa. All right, second side with our new additions. On your next inhale, sweep your left toes up to the sky, bend your knee, open up your hip, option to drop right forearm. Lift the forearm if you've lowered it. Step to the outside of your left hand. This time, reach your left arm forward and then back and see if you can tap your right thigh. And then as you reach it back forward, sweep through the window of your right arm and sit to the back heel, so your right heel in skandasana, back towards the top of the mat. Lower your hips down to the floor. Pivot your right knee to the ground, twist. Open it back up, hands to help if you need. Lift through skandasana and then pivot the feet to a low horizon. Lift high, low. High horizon, tuck your left knee behind the right ankle, cartwheel the arms into your seated twist. Unravel your seated twist, half moon back to the top of the mat. Woo. Start to face the hips down towards the floor. Step back towards a high crescent lunge, and then sweep your right arm back behind for archer's lunge. Left arm forward, right arm behind. Option to reverse your lunge by reaching down the back thigh with your right hand. Undo the archer's lunge, bring your hands to your heart center, and twist across to the right. Left elbow's hooking the right knee. Keep this twisted lunge as you shift your weight forward. Maybe you kind of hover the left toes off the floor for a moment before you find twisted chair. Unravel your chair, hands to heart center. Come up onto your tiptoes, lower your hips to your heels, and then it's a plow pose roll if you'd like. Roll it back, toes find the floor. Roll it forward, cross the ankles, hands plant, Step back, straight through a vinyasa. All right, take a breath. We're gonna take one more round of adding on. We will weave in some standing postures, some twisting postures, and a little bit more kind of funky moving around. I like it. Okay, sweep your right toes up to the sky, open up your hip, lower your forearm if you'd like. Exhale, knee to right elbow, right tricep. Step to the outside of your right hand. Reach it back for your left thigh. Sweep it forward and find skandasana at the back of the mat. Lower your hips, pivot to your twist. Undo the twist, low horizon at the back of the mat. High horizon, tuck your back knee behind your ankle, and then low seated twist. Unravel the twist, half moon at the back of the mat. Face your hips to the floor, ground your right toes, open up to your reverse archer's lunge. And then bring it into your twisted crescent lunge. Shift your weight forward into the left foot, hover the right toes, come to your twisted chair. This time, come up onto your left toes. Keep everything as it is, and then come to standing with the left knee into the chest. Now, you can grab onto your left knee with the right hand or the left foot. We're gonna find a standing twist. Take a breath in and out. Release the grip, and you're going to take a big circle behind you to find a shrimp squat, so your knee might tap the floor, and then lift it back up, knee to nose. One more time, big circle, big range of motion with the left knee, this time all the way to a seated twist. On the other side. Now as you stand back up, see if you can do no hands as a mobility challenge. You're gonna take a big circle around into your seated figure 4 chair. Whoa, that was a lot of things. Pause in your figure 4 chair. You can bring your hands down to a block. I'm really fond of straightening out and then bending into my standing knee. I also really like to bring my right hand to the base of my left foot. Take one more breath. Stand it back up. Chair pose, hands to heart center, up onto the toes. Lower the hips to your heels, and it's a plow pose rock. Roll it forward. Move it through your vinyasa. This block is in my way. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Left toes reach up to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Option to lower your right forearm. Release, knee to left elbow, and then step to the outside of your left hand. Big sweeping circle with your left arm to tap your back thigh. Sweep it back forward and through the window of your right arm as you sit to your heel at the back, at the top of your mat. Skandasana comes to seated twist. Unravel, finding your low horizon at the top of the mat. Lift up to high horizon, tuck your back knee behind your right ankle, seated twist. Unravel your twist to your half moon at the top of the mat. Shift so your hips face the floor, bend into your right knee, and then cartwheel the arms back to your reverse archer's lunge. Bring the hands to heart center as you twist to your twisted crescent lunge. Now shift your weight forward, finding twisted chair with the option to fly your left toes for a moment. And then twisted chair. Now come up onto the toes of the right foot and lift all the way to stand. Now you can bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee or the outside of your right foot and find a twisted standing posture of your choice. Take a breath. As you release the grip, you're going to take a big circular motion, finding a shrimp squat. So you'll bend deeply into your left knee. Fingertips can find the floor to help you, and same with the back toes to lower down. Then you'll lift back up through a half circle. This time, one more half circle. All the way behind, so you're tucking your right knee behind the left. You'll sit all the way down to a seated twist. Unravel your twist, left foot plants, hands or no hands, big half circle to cross your right ankle over the left knee. Seated down into your figure four chair pose. Again, you can have your hands at heart center. You could have a hand or both onto the block. You could play with straightening and bending your standing knee a little bit. And if you like, you can bring your left hand to your right foot and give a little push. One more breath. Wherever you are, release back into your figure four chair, come to stand and chair pose. Come up onto the toes, bend into the knees, hips to heels, hips to floor, rock it back. And then through a vinyasa. Take a breath. We're going to take one more sequence with some similar postures, and then we will start to slow down our pace quite a bit into some hip stretches, and we'll get a little more gentle. But one more flowy bit. Sweep the right toes up to the sky, bend your knee, open your hip, option for a wild thing this time. If you're taking your wild thing, be really gentle and controlled when you lower your foot to the floor. Next place we meet is with the right foot at the top of the mat. This time, lower your back knee, twisted lizard lunge. Squeeze your back heel to your glutes and reach for it with the right hand. Release the grip. Both hands find the floor. Push it back, skandasana at the back of the mat. Now this time, you have your block. If you wanted to, you could sit up onto it so that sitting into your skandasana would be more comfortable. Otherwise, you don't need the block, but you're gonna reach your left arm out to the left, your right arm up to the sky, and then a couple times, we've taken this motion before, you'll reach down to the floor with your right hand, then reach up to the sky. I like sitting up onto the block here because it allows me to really focus on that twist rather than falling out of the posture. One more time. Lord, I don't know, here comes my cat. And then lift it up. If you have the block underneath your hips, you can remove it. And then come straight to your low horizon at the back of the mat. This time in your low horizon, if you'd like, you can bring your left hand to your knee and find a little twist with your shoulders back to the top of the mat, or the back of the mat, I guess. I really like this push of the knee and then this thoracic twist. Take one more moment here. Nice. All right, tuck your right knee behind the left ankle. Last time for this seated twist on this side. Unravel your twist. This time we're gonna come to a malasana. So hands can use the floor to help, and you're gonna pivot open, finding a malasana. When you get there, I like to bring my hands to my knees, kind of drop my shoulders down to the floor for a bit of a broadening across the front of my shoulders. Feels pretty nice. Take a little shift side to side. And then one more sort of twisty motion here. You'll reach your right hand out to the floor and your left arm up to the sky. And then your left arm out to the floor and your right arm up to the sky. Release. We'll find a final half moon. Malasana half moon can be a little fun and funky. Feels like a cartwheel. You'll shift your left hand to the floor, reach your right arm up to the sky. Nice. And we'll move straight down to the other side, which will mean stepping your right foot to the back of the mat, hands to the floor, then kicking your left toes up to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. If you'd like, you can flip it open to your wild thing. Now we'll come to the back of the mat with your left foot to the outside of your hand. Drop your back knee, twisted lizard lunge. Reach your left arm up and back for your right toes. If you get the grip, you might squeeze your heel into your glutes, or you might kick into the hand to open up across the chest. Finding more of a twist here. Release the grip, both hands to the floor, tuck onto your right toes, and then shift it back so you're sitting down to your right heel. Now again, you can use the block underneath your hips here, if you'd like, to keep your hips lifted and allow you a little bit more lift in the torso. And then reach your right arm to the inside of the right thigh, left arm up to the sky. And then a few times, curl it down, left hand reaches towards the floor, and then open it up. Curl it down, open it up. One more time. Curl down, open up. We'll sit up off of the block and find your way to your low horizon pose. Now this time in low horizon, you can bring your right hand to your right knee, and I like to push into that twist so that my shoulders face the floor, and then open back up. Nice. One more time if you'd like. And then scooch your back knee underneath for a final seated twist. And again, we're gonna pivot open to malasana. Hands can be helpful. You'll plant into the right foot, unfurl the left knee, and then plant both feet to the floor. Doesn't matter which direction you're facing, as long as you find it, you'll be in malasana. And again, kind of shift side to side. A nice big opener for the hips. My cat. Hey, Manzi. Oh my God. And again, reach your left arm out to the left and right arm up to the sky. And then your right arm down to the floor and your left arm up to the sky. Back to malasana, our cartwheel into half moon. So right arm reaches to the floor, push into your right foot, and open up, half moon. And then step your left foot to the back of the mat. Both hands find the floor, downward facing dog. Lower your knees down. Walk your hands out forward, puppy pose. One more breath here. Hey, Manzi. Okay, walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Oh boy, okay. This cat is actually not helping very much. Okay. Finding your tabletop position. We'll take a couple hip stretches to finish out. You're gonna reach your right toes to the back of the mat and then tuck your right knee behind the left. Now you'll sit your hips back until you feel a stretch. You might sit all the way back to your cow face legs. And when you get there, it's a little shift side to side. Hey Manzi, please don't do that to the camera. Uh-oh. You could fold over the thighs if you would like to. And when you're ready, shift back forward into your tabletop when you get there, and then unravel the right knee out to the right side, like a fire hydrant as we did, and then cross your right ankle in front of your left knee, so you're in a tabletop with a figure 4. Now find a little cat-cow movement in the spine. We'll use this as a pigeon transition, so keep the cross of the ankle, tuck your back toes, and lift up to a figure 4 downward facing dog for just a moment. And then pull your knee forward, finding pigeon pose. When you get there, it's however you'd like to soften down. I'm gonna suggest walking your hands over a little bit to the left to frame out your left foot and fold over down towards your foot. I'm a big fan of a more oscillating movement in the spine, lowering down and then lifting back up. Hi. Oh my God, this cat. Honey. I should have closed the door so Manzi wouldn't come in, but that's okay. And take a couple more breaths in your pigeon. If you want to stay down folded, you can, or you can use your last few breaths to squeeze your back heel in and reach for it with the same hand. If there are any variations you would like to take, whether it be king pigeon or mermaid pose or anything like that, feel free. Then release the grip if you've got any sort of variation. Hands find the floor, and then step back to a tabletop position with the right knee behind. Just draw a few circles. All right, find your tabletop again. This time send your left toes to the back of the mat, bend into your knee, and then tuck your left knee behind your right and sit your hips back towards any version of a cow face pose. When you get there, you can fold down, can lean side to side. And take a couple more breaths here to move it around in any ways you would like, or be very still, whatever calls to you, really. And we'll come out the way we came in by shifting forward back to a tabletop position. Untuck the left knee, and then take a big half circle out to the left and tuck your left foot in front of the right knee. So you're in a figure 4 tabletop, and then a little cat-cow. Keep the cross of the ankle as you lift up to a figure 4 downward facing dog. I keep a generous bend into my right knee here. And then shift forward, pigeon pose with the left shin on the floor. And again, I'll suggest that you walk the hands over to the right just a little bit to frame out the right foot. And then from there, fold down as much as feels good. If pigeon is not a pose that feels nice on your knees, you're welcome to take any other hip opener that you would like. Hey, Manzi. She's always like this when I practice, especially when I really want to get into the flow. She will show up and join me. And you can stay folded for your next few breaths, or if you wanted any variations, you could squeeze your back heel to your glutes, reach for it, and maybe find a mermaid pose or anything else that's in your practice that you would like to add in. If you're taking any variations, release them. We'll come out through a 3-legged tabletop position. So sweep your left toes to the back of the mat, bend your knee, and just draw a couple circles. And eventually both knees will find the floor. Cross over your ankles to find a seat. We'll find a forward fold before we make our way onto our back bodies. I'm going to suggest that you find your feet a little wider than hips width distance for this fold. Start by lifting tall out of the spine, and as you exhale, fold it down. And again, you can be still in this fold, or if you prefer, you can continue to lift up and lower down, or even shift side to side. Make your way all the way down onto your back body when you're ready. When you get there, we'll find a bridge pose, bringing your feet about hips width distance apart and close enough to you that you could graze your heels with your fingertips if you reached back. Then lift the hips off the floor. This cat, hi there. I like to reach my arms up over my head. If you wanted to take a wheel pose or any other back bends, of course, feel free. And lower down with your next exhale. Pull your knees into your chest, find a happy baby, reaching to the outsides of the feet, little rock side to side. And then it's any last postures you would like before taking your final resting pose, whether that's a shavasana or a meditation seat or legs up the wall. And when you settle down, I invite you to take a few minutes to pause. I know often when you're following along with a video, it's very tempting to skip shavasana or to just move on with your day. And if you feel that urge, Maybe even set aside just 30 seconds to close down your eyes after your practice and check in. This pause is very valuable. Thank you so much for letting me guide you and for taking this time out of your day to move your body, to explore some creative pathways. We definitely got a little bit funky, a little crazy. If you have any questions or any postures that need further breakdown, please don't hesitate to reach out, and have a lovely rest of your evening or morning or weekend, wherever you are. Thank you.